Yes, good afternoon and welcome to Hastings Insurance McHale Park. You join us ahead of the county intermediate football final as we pause for a moment's silence in memory of the late Michael Feehan from Kilmina, who passed away recently.
Especially in Crow Park when he watched his nephew represent the Kilmina team that won the All-Ireland Junior final in February 22. When he moved to London, he immersed himself in all things Mayo was a large department, Mayo's association, the Golf Society, which he was both past captain and president. He was also one of the founder members of Court Mayo in London in 2011. Being an avid Mayo GA supporter, he followed the team up and down the country as well as further afield. So please stand as a matter of respect.
So a moment's silence then in memory of the late Mick Feehan, great Kilmina and Mayo supporter who had been living in London for many years and who passed away recently. What a beautiful rendition of Our Own Nevian by Conor Fox from Foxford, a Moy Davits clubman, and that sets the scene nicely. We'll give you a very quick check on the teams before we start, beginning with Moy Davits. 2 changes to the team listed in the programme. James Mulderrick brings in 19 Sean Kelly and 17 Brian Reap, with Ryan Kenny and Brian Heenahan dropping to the bench. No other changes on either side. Crossmolina go as selected, which means the big guns, the big names, Conor Loftus, Jordan Flynn and Fionnán Duffy play at 6, 9 and 11. Our match referee is Shane Corcoran from Island 80. It's time to find out, can Crossmolina upset the odds and win the intermediate title for the first time since 1980, or will Moy Davits justify the favourites tag and win again? As we watch Niall Coggins. Oh, what a start! What a goal! Crossmolina strike first inside the opening 15 seconds with a sensational goal from Niall Coggins, the oldest of the brothers. And Crossmolina, well, they've hit the ground running and they've rocked Moy Davits right back on their heels. And that's my cue to bring in for the first time my co-commentator this afternoon, Pierce O'Reilly, the former Westport, Mayo and New York footballer who can't but have been impressed.
Unbelievable start, Mike. 15 seconds. Crossmolina moved Patrick Leddy, the big Cavan man, to midfield. He broke the ball. And 50 metres Niall Coggins ran and put an absolute pile driver into the back of Chris McGlynn's goal.
Well, they scored a goal against Davits in 1980 to win that county intermediate championship, and they've hit the net here after 15 seconds, and it's Niall Coggins, one of the outstanding players in that extra time semi-final win over Ballinrobe, that left Chris McGlynn grasping at thin air. What a finish. They did serve up 7 goals between them in the group stages a few weeks ago. It's the third time they've met in about 13 or 14 months. And let's hope, Pierce, it's a sign of things to come, because everybody wondering, would Brian Benson and James Mulderrick, would they let their team off the leash and let them play? That's a very good omen. Yeah, the weather is going to be an unbelievable leveler here. It has been bucketing down, sheets of rain, the wind blowing from the Albany end right down into the bacon factory end, and of course Crossmolina have it at their backs at the moment. Yeah, it's a soft day, as you can see here at Hastings Insurance McHale Park. Massive crowd in. This game has really captured the imagination of Crossmolina and Moy Davits. This is Conor Loftus looking to extend the Crossmolina lead. That shot flies high and wide. Well, in case you've just joined us, the bad news is you've missed one of the goals of the season from Niall Coggins from Crossmolina that has given the underdogs a dream start, as JP Mulhern, the converted outfielder, the Crossmolina goalie, or the Moy Davits goalie rather, Chris McGlynn, drives this over towards the far side, and Jamie Clark, a bit of a push, he gets his free. Shane Corcoran gives the benefit of the doubt to the Moy Davits wing forward. They have made 2 changes, just to remind you. No major surprise that Sean Kelly and Brian Reap both start. James Mulderrick deciding to keep Brian Heenahan in reserve. Man on the ball here is Ronan Clark. His brother Stephen is just standing away to his left, was looking for the handy pass. He didn't get it initially, now he does. They're sons of Pat Clark, who played with the club for years and years and managed them to an intermediate title as well a few years ago, as Cathal Clark gives it across to Jamie. No bother between the two brothers there as they link down along the right hand side. Here's Jamie Clark again. Clips it in towards the edge of the D. He's looking for Brian Reap. Reap does really well to win it out in front of 2 defenders. Tight angle, looking for Moy Davits' first score. He got a nudge, he got a push. We're going to come back for the free in. Good refereeing by Shane Corcoran. Yeah, it's interesting, Mike. Anthony Jordan and Brian Reap inside in the full forward line for Moy Davits. They're looking to get fast ball into those 2 big men. They just need to settle down, Moy Davits. That early goal has them really rocked back. And nice handy free for Ronan Clark. I'd like to see Ronan Clark, though, closer to the goal. He's playing out around the middle as a playmaker. An excellent minor. So here's a chance for Moy Davits just to get the scoreboard ticking. Good confident kick by their top scorer in this championship, Cian McHale. He's up to 220 now, 220 in the championship. And by the looks of things, even though he's got 13 on his back, he started at centre forward, being picked up by Conor Loftus. No major surprise there. McHale is the danger man in this Moy Davits attack. But the Crossmolina supporters here in the stand, well, they nearly took the roof off when that shot from Niall Coggins flew in. I'm sure they enjoyed it down at Mahon's Bar as well, where I know the game is being broadcast live and clear, and also over at McDonald's in Belmullet, where day 2 of Cueva Welch and Jack Hegarty's wedding is taking place this afternoon. Diarmuid Welch, who's playing for Crossmolina, is a brother of the bride, and congratulations to Jack and to Cueva, and I'm sure that goal has livened things up down in Belmullet. Here in Castlebar, that Crossmolina attack has broken down. Loose ball scooped up and played down along this stand side into the lap of Brian Reap, out in front of Matthew Gordetsky, who's got the man marking job. Driving forward is Anthony Jordan to his old sparring partner Reap, who made the run inside, just couldn't get it under control. The conditions are greasy, the wind is howling, the rain is falling in sheets, and that didn't help Brian Reap. Yeah, that's their second wide. The ball just spilled out of his hands, Mike. You know, the conditions are so poor here, and that breeze is going to be a huge factor. So the team that makes the least mistakes here today, and there's going to be a lot of them, are going to be the likely winners. So we're in the 6th minute of the county intermediate football final. This championship sponsored by Egan Jewellers. That's Dara Siren. He's 6'4". He got up above all comers to win that kick out, claim the mark, and away go Crossmolina with Diarmuid Coggins. He is the middle brother Aaron, Niall and Diarmuid all on duty. That's a good kick by Mahady. Comes back off the bar. First man to react to my Davits man. It's the fullback, Neil Murphy, who bounces off a couple of would-be tacklers. That's high from Fionnán Duffy. Man down in a Moy Davits jersey, and Shane Corcoran wants a word with the Crossmolina number 11. Looks like a fairly straightforward yellow card.
Yeah, he was very, very high, a clothesline tackle. You know, in fairness to my Davits, they have settled. I'd like to see, you know, Cian McHale get on a few plays. As well as that, obviously, Ronan Clark, you know, he really is a good playmaker, but he's a way out around the middle. You know, they're conscious that the breeze, you know, is playing into their face at the moment, so they need to keep the ball in possession.
Yellow card for Fionnán Duffy. Our coverage being brought to you in association with Mayo Credit Unions. You're watching Mayo GA TV on a wintry day in Castlebar. That's Jordan Flynn. Gives it to Diarmuid Coggins. Moves it on swiftly to big Packy Leddy, the Cavan man at full forward. Shovels it back to Fionnán Duffy again. Just took him a moment there to get it under control. He was bottled up very quickly by the Clarks, Cahill and Ronan. Fouled, free in, and this should be a shooting chance with that strong wind.
Yeah, Fionnán Duffy is a big, strong centre forward. He was lucky because they had him bottled up, but Shane Corcoran said they just, you know, held him a little bit in the tackle, but he was lucky to get it.
Well, he's Crossmolina's top scorer in the championship. He's the man they'd want with the ball in his hands. Might have stolen a few yards. He struck that well. It dropped short and batted away under the crossbar. Confident play by my Davits. They are 2 points behind, but they're beginning now to settle into a bit more of a rhythm. Of course, there was a 17-point swing when these teams met in the group stages, so a 2-point lead or a 2-point deficit is absolutely nothing. Nice, skillful groundwork there by Cian McHale. Ball with Ronan Clark, the brilliant Mayo minor of a couple of years ago, as Moy Davits recycle it all the way back to Sean Kelly, man who scored the winning point here in the 2017 final against Kilchuma. The man who scored the goal that rescued Moy Davits that evening won James Mulderrick, manager, this afternoon. As Moy Davits play keep ball, Conor Reid inside to Cahill Clark, to Ronan, looking for the run of Reap, got there, then just couldn't hold it, ball spilled out of his grasp. It's that sort of a day, as away goes Conor Loftus, looking to use his pace. He was pulled back, no advantage. Crossmolina will get the free.
Yeah, it's interesting. Crossmolina, you know, sitting Kevin Mulhern back there in front of Brian Reap, so they're going to keep the +1 at the back, certainly.
Conor Loftus takes the free, he won himself, and the return. That +1 that Pierce mentioned is sitting right in front of the Crossmolina full forward line. It's Oisin McHugh that's sitting and trying to mind the house as Loftus spots the run of Dara Siren. Outstanding in the semi-final. Lets it run through towards Mahady, the man who hit the winner, into Conor Loftus. Lines up the target. Dangerous ball for McGlynn. Takes no chances. Knocks it out away towards Neil Murphy. And Moy Davits are out and moving forward, but that's a loose hand pass. Moy Davits live dangerously, but they get away with it. It's Oisin McHugh again, their 30-year-old centre back. Two men in front of him, in close to goal, Brian Reap and Anthony Jordan. Instead, Moy Davits spied their time. Now the ball delivered towards Reap. Nice layoff to Jordan. Reap takes the return, shoots on sight, snatches at the shot, and that is well wide. You could see what they were trying to do, just couldn't quite pull it off.
Yeah, it's the third wide for my Davits, but it's interesting. Crossmolina have the breeze, but they have dropped 3 short into the goalkeeper's hands, and they could rue those chances come the closing stages.
Lovely kick out by the Sparky. JP Mulhern picked out Matt Gordetsky, who decided to take Anthony Jordan for a run. Anthony not getting any younger, he's 31. Won't thank him for that, I'm sure. The cornerback stretching his legs as Niall Coggins, the goal scorer, is wrapped up, takes the free quickly. Kevin Mulhern gets forward. This is Niall Coggins. Recycled back to Fionnán Duffy, who lets fly, put everything he had behind it, but it's caught on the wind and it's drifted away to the left. Well, he is the go-to man in the Crossmolina attack, and he was always going to shoot.
Yeah, it's interesting there. Lovely to see the tap and go. We'll probably hear an awful lot more about it, Mike, in the year to come. The two Coggins brothers have been superb. Every time they get it in the half-forward line, they attack every time.
First 11 minutes have flown by. Lovely ball to Cian McHale, who wins it in front of Fergal Duffy, and he's taken down in full flight. That was Jordan Flynn who came across him, and I think Jordan Flynn took one for the team there. He knew that if Cian McHale got in on goal, there was nothing but major problems ahead. So he fouls the Moy Davits man, and up steps Ronan Clark to have a shot at goal. He's 19, wearing a jersey that his dad wore for years and years with Moy Davits, and this man can play as well. It's a second point for Moy Davits. They cut the gap to the bare minimum. 11
minutes played, and as I said, got to get Cian McHale into the game. He is an absolutely brilliant forward. He shot the lights out in the semi-final against Davits. They got to get him on the ball.
Well, hello to Taig Ruan, who emigrated last February, was a member of the Moy Davits squad last season, watching in Australia this afternoon. And we're thinking too of Oisin Quinn, tore his ACL 3 weeks ago, also missed the 2017 final through injury, desperately unlucky. He is among the Moy Davits subs today, watching on from the wings as Crossmolina take this line ball, roll it towards the feet of Niall Coggins, very skillful. The Coggins brothers known to play a bit of soccer with Crossmolina, very good on the ball, and that's a nice pass from Diarmuid all the way across as Crossmolina try to mix it up and switch the point of attack. Fergal Duffy, brother of Finon, lays it off and tried to take the return, but cross wires in the Crossmolina attack, and they've given possession back to Colm McHale, brother of Cian, both sons of Kevin, one of the great Moy Davits clubmen. Down along that far side comes Cathal Clark. Support just ahead of him from Conor Reid. Haven't really seen a lot of the Mayo panellist in this county final just yet. Here he is again. Had a bit of work to do, got his free and takes it quickly. Both teams noticeably, Pierce, every time they get a free, every time they cross the halfway line, trying to force the pace.
Yeah, it's lovely to see, direct football, moving the ball really fast. We haven't had too many scores, but it's a good, open, exciting game.
Brian Reap again there, left a little frustrated. That ball just went a yard the wrong side of him. Good defending by Aaron Coggins. Mahidi unable to hang on to it. Ball is very greasy now. It's been raining here in Mayo all morning and some of the night as well, and it's made the playing conditions, the working conditions extremely difficult. This time it's Crossmolina's extra man, as it were, Kevin Mulhern, to come across and intercept as the play continues to ebb and flow. We're in the 15th minute of the first half. Crossmolina, a goal after 15 seconds, but they haven't scored, Pierce, in 14 minutes, give or take.
Yeah, the scores have dried up. They have dropped 3 into the goalkeeper's hands. That's something that they'll be worried about. As well as that Jordan Flynn hasn't been very much in the play.
Here's Mahady, backs himself. It's going to be close. He's got it. Great score by James Mahady, who turns to the crowd with clenched fists to celebrate. Well, another brilliant minor in that team that went all the way to an All-Ireland final 2 years ago. He has stepped up to the Intermediate Championship in a big way this season, and that's a big score, and it doubles Crossmolina's lead.
Yeah, great score, direct ball in, and he beat 2 defenders to get it, and he curled it over lovely.
Well, I know another man watching from the wings today here at Hastings Insurance McHale Park is one John Mahan, and I'm sure that score from James Mahady is the best sort of medicine he can get. He's been in the wars, shall we say, in the last few days. We wish him well, watching on, and a member, of course, of the Crossmolina management team this year, along with Brian Benson, Budgie McNulty and John O'Malley. Here's Jordan Flynn. His dad, Pather, won an All-Ireland club medal back in 01. Great ball. Mahady just couldn't make it stick. Bounced off his chest, and that was the inch that the Moy Davits defender, Cathal Clark, needed. Free out. But certainly, Pierce, the first 15, 16 minutes, it's been entertaining, if nothing else.
Yeah, very entertaining. Good opening game. But a lot of the plays between the two 45s, you'd like to see, more direct ball going into the inside line, because on both sides they have excellent forwards inside in the full forward line.
Free again, quickly taken. It's the bearded centre back, Oisin McHugh, to Jack Dunleavy, just 19, playing in his first county final. There are a few survivors out there from the 2017 win. Chris McGlenn, Anthony Jordan and Brian Reap among them. Brian Heenahan as well on the subs bench, featured 7 years ago, as did the 42-year-old Conal Quinn, who's wearing number 20 today, looking to win his second county intermediate medal. As Moy Davits play keep ball, Conor Reid, big man, 6'3", waiting patiently, nobody making a move ahead of him. Both Anthony Jordan and Brian Reap, well, they are sitting inside in the large square, but finding it difficult to get much time or space as Moy Davits, against the breeze, continue to hold the ball. Colin McHale gives it back to his brother Cian. Next man up is Jack Dunleavy. Kevin Mulhern is sitting as the sweeper. This is Conor Reid again. He's going to pull the trigger, and he made it obvious, and that was Jordan Flynn, who dived onto his boot to make the block. Moy Davits will recycle and go again. Oisin McHugh over to the right hand side to the wing forward, Jamie Clark. There was a push, and eventually all that patience paid off. A push in the back of Anthony Jordan, free in.
Yeah, Kevin Mulhern is sitting back there as the +1, right in around the D. So every time my Davits get the ball, they're looking up, they're looking for those runs from Brian Reap. Great tussle between the two county men, the youngster Conor Reid and Jordan Flynn. They have picked up each other. Again, this is a great opportunity for my Davits to close the gap.
So it's Cian McHale again, student down in UL. Second free, second score, and Moy Davits edge a little closer.
Yeah, Mike, it's gone a little bit cagey the last few minutes. The breeze as well has kind of died down a little bit. That has helped Moy Davits. But, good, interesting, open game as well.
All eyes here on JP Mulhern, who drives it out the middle of the field towards Packy Leddy. Ball breaks to Diarmuid Coggins. He's pulled back. Crossmolina crowd want a card. That was Jack Dunleavy, who has his name noted by Shane Corcoran. No card on this occasion, but Jack Dunleavy is now on Shane Corcoran's radar as Niall Coggins gives and takes the return. That's a fairly blatant foul, and that's putting it mildly by Sean Kelly, a man who made a name for himself under one Callum Best back in the celebrity Bonnish days down in Foxford. And that reminds me to say hello to Sean's parents, Jack and Breda, who are tuned in to our coverage today from Australia, and of course Sean's sister Niamh also watching on. All die-hard Moy Davits supporters and watching intently as Fionnán Duffy lines this up. Well, in the conditions, given the occasion, that is a terrific kick by Fionnán Duffy. Really good score. His eye is now in. Yeah,
45 metres out, but again, it's the two Coggins brothers. Yeah, in fairness to Moy Davits, they have circled the wagons there, and they said they're not going to run through anymore, but they did get fouled, for that free.
We're in the 20th minute. That's a push on Jordan Flynn. Free to the Mayo man, and clips it nice and simply out to Fergal Duffy, who's getting forward at every opportunity. Sets up the shooting chance for the brother Fionnán. Again, he's a shoot first, ask questions later merchant. Ball breaks kindly for Diarmuid Coggins. Lovely kick, lovely score, lovely football by Crossmolina. All came from the spade work from their midfield powerhouse Jordan Flynn, and finished beautifully by Diarmuid Coggins.
Yeah, the defender should have won that ball. Diarmuid Coggins, who's a light player but lightning fast, just came from behind him, knocked it out of his hands, and with a lovely kittuck put it over. But the two Coggins brothers, Mike, have been instrumental in the opening 20 minutes.
Well, we mentioned it during the semi-final. Their uncle Ben won an All-Ireland hurling medal with Wexford in '96. The breeding is good. This is Kevin Mulhern, and that's a score for the ages from the Crossmolina fullback, Kevin Mulhern. Well, like so many of his colleagues, every chance they get, They have been told to drive on and take Moy Davits on, and Mulhern has kicked an inspirational score, and that's 3 in a row for Crossmolina.
An absolutely brilliant score, 1-4-3. You know, they really need to get a few scores, but when the ball broke again, Diarmuid Coggins was there, scooped it up, hoovered up the break and slipped it out to Mulhern.
Well, 3 points in 2 minutes from the Deel Rovers. Their senior footballers of 1999 were honoured here last night. Hard to believe it's 25 years since they won the Moncler Cup. That was a team of living legends. Well, this year's crop, this intermediate team, trying to write their own history, and they've now gone 4 points up in this intermediate final as Brian Reap takes on 3 defenders, still going, but he's isolated, no support, nobody to back him up, and that was really well done by a combination of Gordetsky, Diarmuid Coggins and Kevin Mulhern, who's having some game. The Crossmolina number 3 to Conor Loftus, just steps by a couple of Moy Davits men like they weren't even there. Now he's run down a cul-de-sac, and Shane Corcoran, well, he was waiting for him, the referee. Use it or lose it, free into Moy Davits.
Yeah, he gave a soft one to Fionn Duffy. I think that's one back to Moy Davits. He's going to actually throw it up because something must have been said. But Moy Davits have to get somebody else up into the forward line. Cian McHale and Ronan Clark, their 2 best forwards, are out in the half forward line, and when the ball goes into Reap, he has nobody coming off his shoulder.
Yeah, I think there may have been a reaction, as they say in the business there, after the free was initially given, but would you believe it? Poetic justice, Moy Davits will feel. Now they get a free, Cian McHale takes it, and somebody, I think, has spoken out of turn to Shane Corcoran. And this was a big feature of the build-up. Everybody knows you will not get away with back chat with Shane Corcoran.
Yeah, in fairness to Shane, he's refereeing the game really, really well. And if you say something to the referee this time next year, it could be 50 yards instead of 13. So, you know, we're short on referees, and Shane has done a good job so far.
So, a warning shot for Crossmolina to Doon the Vale as Cian McHale kicks the free. It's their first score for 5 minutes. They had conceded 3 in a row. But I suppose the big worry when I look at my notes here, Pierce, is that Cian McHale has now hit 3 points from frees. The scores really elsewhere have dried up.
Yeah, but I presume in the second half that you're going to see Clark and McHale right in the full forward line. Neither of them have had a shot at the post, which is really unusual because they're 2 outstanding forwards. And when Reap gets it inside, Reap is in there with Anthony Jordan. They should be coming off his shoulder. They're too deep. By the time they get to him, Reap has either overcarried the ball or they've got, the defenders have got the ball out of his hands.
Here's Jordan Flynn, using his power, using his pace. Oh, what a score from Jordan Flynn, and a celebration to match. Well, the Mayo midfielder come wing forward has come to play. He's paired off with Conor Reid, and he's really bringing the game, taking the game to Moy Davits. That's a big score, and Crossmolina go 4 up again.
Yeah, like we spoke about the weather and the conditions, but the point taking has been absolutely sublime. Great scores from way out the field from both teams.
So double scores in the Egan Jewellers County Intermediate Football Final. Our coverage being brought to you by Mayo Credit Unions here on Mayo GA TV. What a first half it's been, and it's not over yet. Lorcan Loftus does well to come across and intercept. That's a push and a foul and a free. And Crossmolina, again, anxious to take it quickly and keep the pace high with that breeze behind them. Dara Siren to Niall Coggins. Clips it forward to James Mahady, who already was on the move before the pass was played. Cuts in, going for the spectacular one, but he just slipped. His standing leg gave way there as he prepared to pull the trigger. Just wide from Mahady.
Yeah, 24 minutes gone, that's their 3rd wide, but they've also dropped 3 into Chris McGlynn's hands. So, come into the second half with that strong breeze, they need to get those over. It's interesting though, there's fire in Crossmolina, there's drive in them, and they're winning all the dirty ball out round the middle when it breaks.
I see the Swinford team of 1999 making their move, heading down towards the sideline. They'll be introduced to the crowd at half-time. They too, 25 years older than they were when they won an intermediate title back in the day, as Crossmolina come forward again. Lovely little necklace of hand passes to get within shooting range, and Fionn Duffy says, give it to me, I'll take it from here. Duffy delivers again when the chips are down. Well, He just stood in the pocket and said, let me have it, and over it flew. That's 2 spectacular points for Fionnán Duffy.
Yeah, but that score again came from Jeremy Coggins. You know, a high ball out here. He won a really, really dirty ball. He did a tap and go, kicked it into the man that was free on the far side, Kevin Mulhern, and Mulhern shoveled it out to Duffy for a superb score.
Well, that now means Crossmolina have hit 5 of the last 6 points, and they've come in a 7-minute spell, a magnificent 7-minute spell for the Deel Rovers. And here they come again. Mahady, lovely little 1-2, trying to bring it in on the wind. James Mahady with a beauty for Crossmolina. Well, they're rolling back the years, the Deel Rovers. It's like watching the team of '99 all over again, and that's now 3 in a row in this latest purple patch.
Yeah, and 5 of the scores, Mike, in that first half. Okay, they have the advantage of the breeze, and it's a strong breeze, but all coming from play. You know, lovely, intricate play there between Coggins and Mahidi, you know, and that was a superb score. He put it up into the breeze, and the breeze put it directly over the black spot.
Well, I'd say right now the crack is 90 in Mahon's, in Crossmolina, in McDonald's, in Belmullet. Probably a little more subdued in the Copper Beach and Strayed, but still a long way to go. Coggins to Mahady. He's red hot. He goes again. Well, James Mahady is giving a masterclass, a clinic of shooting. He's up now to 3 and counting in this first half.
Champagne football, Mike, from Crossmolina. And if Kevin McStay is here, he'll be putting pen to paper for a few of these guys. Really impressed in the opening half with the Coggins, and Mahidi is just shooting the lights out.
Well, speaking of lights, the lights are on in the dash now for Moy Davits as we swing into the last 2.5 minutes of normal time at the end of the first half. They have conceded 7 points in the last 8 minutes. They've come from left, right and centre. Mahady, Duffy, Coggins, Mulhern and Flynn. And that's the major issue for James Mulderrig, Pierce, as he tries to stem the tide. The threats are all over the field right now.
Yeah, but there's a really, really strong breeze there. My Davits will have it in the second half, and more than likely they're going to move their, their 2 danger men who haven't been on the ball, Ronan Clark and Keane McHale. They certainly will come into the play in the second half.
Remember, Crossmolina at one stage were 9 up against Moy Davits in the group stages and lost the lead and lost the game. So really there's a lot that could happen between now and full time. Worth reminding you as well, if they do finish level, we will have a replay. And of course the junior final between Kilcommon and Bonnyconlon did finish in a draw yesterday. They will get to meet again next weekend as Moy Davits try to put another score on the board before half time. That's a foul on Cathal Clark, and this I think is going to be left for Ronan Clark. In these conditions and given the state of play, Moy Davits feel Ronan Clark the best man to have the ball in his hands. Pops it into Reap, gets away from his man, and Brian Reap resumes normal service. That's his first score of the county final. He's had to work really hard to get any sort of separation from his man, but that time he just got the jump on him. Nice ball from Clark and a good score.
Yeah, Clark popped it in over Kevin Mulhern. When Reap won it, he actually had to come out and give Mulhern a shoulder to get him out of the way, and was almost blocked. But a good score, and a score that's badly, badly needed. If my Davits could get another score or 2 before half-time, it would have a huge impact on this game.
Well, we're going to have at least 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half, but what a battle Matt Gordetsky and Brian Reap are having down there in front of the Crossmolina goal. The 19-year-old cornerback marking the wily Moy Davits forward, Brian Reap. He's 27 now, but he's been around for years. The former All-Ireland minor winner, Cathal Clark, back to Oisin McHugh. Strong breeze blowing right into Moy Davits' faces, and if anything it's got a little stronger since throw-in at 2:30. Fiacre Cruz comes in off the left wing. Man soloing forward here is the fullback Neil Murphy. I'd say he was getting a little lightheaded, so he leaves it off to Colin McHale. Here's Reap again, back to Cian McHale, gets it up over the blanket, hangs on the breeze, kept in play by Anthony Jordan. He did well. tries to hold off Mulhern. Well, the old dog for the hard road, he's drawn the foul. Clever play.
Yeah, but again, you have to give great credit to Reap. He won a ball, 2 defenders on him, slipped it back to McHale. McHale kind of floated it up, and in fairness to Anthony Jordan, he did it really, really well. But this is a crucial score. My Davits by no means are out of this game. You're looking at a breeze there, probably 5 or 6 points. You saw Mahidi floating them over. If they can get the players inside in the second half, they'll cause trouble.
Well, we all know at this stage about the sort of firepower that my Davits have, and as Pierre said, with that breeze behind them, if they can get the supply, they have the potential to do the damage. That's Cian McHale with another free. That's his 4th point from a free in this first half. 2 in a row for my Davits, and the gap now stands at 5 points. Well, there goes the half-time whistle. Shane Corcoran of Island 80 calls for the ball. What a first half it's been. It's been end to end. Crossmolina playing the vast majority of the good football. A goal after 15 seconds from Niall Coggins that set the tone for the opening half. But my Davits staying in touch, staying in contention, thanks mainly to the free taking of Cian McHale. But at half time, Pierce O'Reilly, you'd have to say it's advantage Crossmolina.
Yeah, it's advantage Crossmolina, but I don't think this game is over by any means. There's a very, very strong breeze out there. And, Mahidi, Diarmuid Coggins and Niall Coggins, they burst through, and when you pop it up in that breeze, there's a really good chance it's going to go over. In fairness to my Davits, there was a question mark. Do they have the fire in the belly? They have lost big games before. I saw it in the semi-final against Davits. When they were 4 points down, they dug deep and they got back into the game. And, up front, they really do have danger men, but they can't get the ball to them at the moment. They have to get Clark. They have to get McHale inside, very close to Reap. Reap is doing superb in there. He's working so hard, but he doesn't have any support runners, and he'll certainly have them, Mike, in the second half.
Yeah, just before we wrap up for half time, Pierce, just I suppose to try and second guess James Mulderrig and Emmett O'Connor and the rest of the Moy Davits management team. They have options on the bench. Brian Heenahan, Dara Ruan, who's come back from Australia this week to rejoin the squad, Liam Byrne as well. I suppose the big question is, with the breeze, given the 5-point deficit, when do they use them? When do they break the glass in case of emergencies?
Yeah, the number one thing that they have to do is they've got to get Cian McHale into the game. He has scored 4 frees, but he's had only 1 shot at the post, which was collected by Anthony Jordan. He kicked 6-7 points from play, coming on the loop in the semi-final. They just need to get the ball to him. Certainly, if I was the manager, I'd be saying to the 2 lads, the 2 quality forwards that have played for Mayo, forwards that we expect to be on the Mayo senior team this year, are on the training panel, Cian McHale and Ronan Clark to be inside. Because Brian Reap, in fairness to him, is winning the ball with 2 defenders beside him. But he got blocked, he got turned over, and he's working so hard without any support. So, listen, they're in trouble. As you said, the lights are on in the dash. Some people might say there's a question mark here over, my Davits, is they're kind of a soft centre there. They've been beaten in big games before. But I saw it in the semi-final. When the chips were down, a lot of big players for them stood up, and I expect them to come out in the second half. And as I said, that breeze, Mike, 5-6 points certainly in it.
The Swinford team of 99 are about to be introduced to the crowd. I see Billy McNicholas down there. He looks like he could still tog the Mayo Games manager. Before we wrap up, a quick word on Crossmolina. I mentioned John Mahan is laid up at the moment. Well, what he would have seen in the first half is better than any paracetamol. Those scores from Mahady and Duffy and Mulhern and Flynn and all the others. And the goal from Niall Coggins in, the first minute, 15 seconds. Talk us through it again, Pierce, for anybody who maybe came late, tuned in late, didn't get to see it first time around. We'll be talking about that goal for years.
Yeah, you might remember an Owen Merchant effort from Dublin against Mayo. It's kind of a tactic that teams have done recently, and Aidan O'Shea has been playing it for Mayo as well. Crossmolina put Patrick Leddy, the big towering full forward, out to midfield for the throw. He broke the ball forward to Niall Coggins, and Coggins took off our loose Lasrock lightning pace, burst through, and he put the ball through the net and up into the bacon factory, and absolutely peaches. The best goal that I have seen in club football this year. And Mike, I've seen a lot of games, but then Mahidi came into it, and he has that confidence and swagger about him at the moment. And you know, the weather has been a big leveler here. Like Crossmolina, you know, they're a former senior team. You know, they have, you know, years of experience. When I saw it lashing down, I said, this is going to suit Crossmolina. These are tough, they're teak tough men down there. They're going to like this rough and tumble, you know. And all the dirty ball in the first half, Crossmolina won it. And small guys, Jimmy Coggins was superb, winning breaking ball that he shouldn't have and had no right to win. And big question marks over Mike Davits. Do they have it? Are they going to stand up or sit down? And we'll know in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, you're bringing me back to my school days there. I couldn't help but think back on that Niall Coggins goal. He went Ernos Naguiha, as they say, but it was a terrific goal, and it really did set the tone and set the atmosphere, and we're really looking forward to the second half. We're going to let you go to put on the kettle, to stretch your legs and to psych yourself up for the second half, because I get a feeling the best is yet to come. But at half-time in the Egan Jewellers County Intermediate Football Final, it's Crossmolina who lead Moy Davits 1-8-6. We're back with second half commentary shortly. Moy Davits justify the favourites tag and win again as we watch Niall Coggins. Oh, what a start! What a goal!
In the middle as a playmaker, an excellent minor.
So here's a chance for Moy Davits just to get the scoreboard ticking. 19. Wearing a jersey that his dad wore for years and years with Moy Davits, and this
hasn't been very much in the play.
Here's Mahadi, backs himself. It's going to be close. He's got it. Great score.
Close the gap.
So it's Cian McHale again, student down in UL. Second free, second score. All die-hard Moy Davits supporters and watching intently as Fionnán Duffy lines this up. Well, in the condition, shoot first, ask questions later, Merchant. Ball breaks kindly for Jeremy Coggins. Lovely kick, lovely spin. Won an All-Ireland hurling medal with Wexford in '96. The breeding is good. This is Kevin Mulhern.
We were short on referees, and Shane has done a good job so far.
So, a warning shot for Crossmolina to...
you know, the defenders have got the ball out of his hands.
Here's Jordan Flynn using his power, using his pace. Oh, what a score! Lovely little necklace of hand passes to get within shooting range, and Fionnán Duffy says, give it to me, I'll take it from here. And here they come again. Mahadi, lovely little 1-2, trying to bring it in on the wind. James Mahadi in the Copper Beach in straight, but still a long way to go. Coggins to Mahadi, he's red hot, he goes again. Moy Davits field, Ronan Clark, the best man to have the ball in his hands, pops it into Reap, gets away from his man, and Brian Reap.
Come over. If they can get the players inside in the second half, they'll cause trouble.
But we all know at this stage about the sort of firepower that Moy Davits has. And you're welcome back to Hastings Insurance, McHale Park. Good timing. Second half just about to get underway. I see Crossmolina have made at least one change at half time. Number 24, Stephen Duffy, is coming in. You can see him heading down towards corner back. Very, very experienced Stephen Duffy. He's been around the block. Just looking around to see if anybody else has arrived in.
I see Shane Cochran telling the Mayo Ishka Mike to get off the field.
So our referee Shane Corcoran just makes sure that everyone is where they should be, and the second half is off and running with the 34-year-old Stephen Duffy on for Crossmolina as Conor Loftus goes long to the edge of the square to try and test out that Moy Davits full back line again. They're looking for another early goal at the start of this second half that would really put the cat among the pigeons. Another dangerous ball for McGlynn to deal with, but the experienced Donegal man left his line quickly and snuffed out the danger. Looking to win another intermediate championship today. He was the Coolbora as well back in 2017.
Yeah, it was interesting there again, Mike, talking about that throw in. Jordan Flynn gone into full forward. He's back out in the middle again now. But it's a tactic that Crossmolina are obviously aware of, hoping to get a quick early score.
So confirmation there from Johnny Hopkins on the PA that Stephen Duffy has replaced Fergal Duffy in the Crossmolina team. As we watch Brian Reap, the man who has led the line, often ploughing a lone furrow up there for Moy Davits so far, and he does well. Got there just in front of Gordetsky. What a battle they're having. But Reap that time again got the run on him. He's won his free. Now the hard part is left to Cian McHale. As you can see, breeze or no breeze, this is a very tight angle. Had 219 to his credit coming in. He has been kicking beautifully all season, and I just put the hex on him, and that's wide away to the right. But it was always going to be a difficult kick. But the question is, Pierce, it's been the talking point up here in the stand at half time, is how quickly Moy Davits can harness that breeze.
Yeah, and it's a blustery breeze. Just at the start of the second half it seemed to be stronger, but again, great credit to Brian Reap inside. He's winning ball after ball, and I'm again surprised that they haven't put the two sharpshooters in beside him.
Credit there to Jordan Flynn, the Crossmolina vice-captain. Mikey Loftus, by the way, is the Crossmolina captain this season. He's among the substitutes. He's been carrying an injury recently, being used as an impact sub by Brian Benson. But he is the man that will lift the cup if Crossmolina go on to win this. Ball played into the corner to Jeremy Welsh. Nice layoff to Loftus. They could be in again, and he went for it. Blocked by a defender. I think it was Jack Dunleavy who happened to be standing in the right place. Chris McGlynn, to his credit, had already taken off. He was in mid-air, prepared to make the save. But we were all expecting Loftus, I think, to lay it off. And then all of a sudden he let fly, and Jack Dunleavy made the block.
Yeah, I don't think Jack knew too much about it. It kind of hit the back of his legs. But Conor Loftus, took the chance when it appeared.
Oh, Brian Reap, how did he manage to pull that off? Somehow, in the middle of trying to win the ball, not pick it off the ground and hold off the defender, he made the sign that he wanted to call the mark. Shane Corcoran spotted it, and Brian Reap kicks the score. Well, that is Brian Reap at his very best.
Yeah, if you were to pick a man of the match now, Brian Reap has absolutely worked his socks off. He has kicked 2 points, one from play and one from a free. But it's the amount of possession and ball, and difficult ball in slippery, wet conditions. But again, why is Ronan Clark and Cian McHale not in beside him?
2 for Reap, 7 for Moy Davits. The gap now stands at 4 points in the Egan Jewelers County intermediate football final. Moy Davits beaten in the semi-final last season. They have been the bridesmaids, as it were, a few times in the last few years. Everybody expecting them sooner or later to make the breakthrough. Will today be the day? Who goes back to senior football? Moy Davits or Crossmolina? Still very much the argument there to be settled. Crossmolina have a free. Fionnán Duffy weighing up his options. Kevin Mulhern makes a run up this stand side. Dara Siren spots him. That's a big hand pass. Loops across to Mulhern. Now Mahady, always looking to make something happen. This time brings Conor Loftus into the game. Won an All-Ireland minor medal 11 years ago. Conor Loftus, and added an under-21 a few years later. Here's another of those All-Ireland under-21 winners. It's Fionnán Duffy, cuts through, fires it up and over the bar. Well, he's one of the very best forwards in the club championship in Mayo, and again, he shows us just why.
Yeah, it's his third, Mike. 2 frees and 1 from play, but Crossmolina have set out their stall. That substitution, Stephen Duffy, he's sitting on the top of the D and he's not going to move from there. So Moy Davits have to come up with a plan to get the passes, the Mo Girach going, get it indirect and in around them.
Well, Stephen Duffy right now is parked like a bouncer, a doorman on the edge of the D, back in front of the Crossmolina goal. Up at the other end, it's Mahady, who is going to shoot and is going to score. Well, he's having the county final that so many players dream about, James Mahady. Everything he touches is working out, is going over, and he's now up to 4 points, all of them superb, all of them from play.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant play again. And in fairness to Mahady, the score really wasn't even on. Again, it put it up into the breeze. It was heading out to the right and curled over. A fantastic score.
That's 2 points against the breeze for Crossmolina. And you'll have seen the way that shot from Mahady flew over. It looked like there was no wind against him. But they're playing with such confidence and freedom. Whatever Brian Benson has been doing over the last couple of weeks, so far it's worked out well. Here's Cian McHale looking to pull one back for Moy Davits. He has struck it beautifully. That's as good a score as you're going to see from Cian McHale. Well, so many people are excited about this young Moy Davits forward. He's now hit 5 points in this county final. That's his first from open play.
Yeah, his first from open play, and it was 36 metres out with the breeze behind him. But you'd love to see him in beside Reap. He's way out the middle of the field, as is Ronan Clark. And if Moy Davits are to win this, they've got to get those 2 guys into the play.
Well, Cian's uncle Gary Ruan had a kitog as well, but I don't think Gary Ruan ever kicked a point like that for Moy Davits or for Mayo. He was more of a man marker, a brilliant defender, but Cian, his nephew, is, as they say, a baller, and if Moy Davits are going to get back into this, he is going to be the main man. Conor Loftus to Mulhern again, waits for the runner, Jordan Flynn. Here's Mahady on the loop, just blindsided a couple of defenders. He's got them on the run. Mahady, well, he's in that sort of mood now where he's going to shoot from everywhere, and that one dropped just short and allows maybe Moy Davits to build from the back.
Yeah, it's the 4th one into the goalkeeper's hands. Chris McGlynn, a man that played under 21, believe it or not, for Donegal. Interesting, a husband and wife on the line for Moy Davits as well. JP Boyle, one of the best footballers that ever played minor football with Donegal, and his wife Carol down 2 selectors. A good Niamh Werriman from way up in northwest Donegal. He played football in New York as well. And just a quick shout out to Mick Ruan as well. I met him on the way in. He said the breeze is blowing from the east, and he says in an hour's time it'll be blowing into the east. I'm hoping, or I'd say he's hoping now, Mike, that the breeze changes here and helps Moy Davits, because they're in trouble.
And our thanks to Pierce for the weather update as well. We've got all the bases covered here on Mayo GA TV, but it's wintry. It's a wild day here in Castlebar. You can hear the wind, I'm sure, coming through on the microphones, and that's what Crossmolina are playing against in this second half. But they have the luxury of a 5-point cushion, and here you can see them just for once taking the sting out of it ever so slightly, just to take a moment to gather their thoughts. Kevin Mulhern to Dara Siren. A man mountain. He's just 20 years of age, but he ran into trouble there. He ran into two Moy Davits men, and now the break is on. That's a smart bit of play by Matt Gordetsky to stop Sean Kelly before he could get started, really. But Gordetsky is going to be spoken to by Shane Corcoran, and I would imagine there's a card coming for the Crossmolina corner back. Broke his nose against the Neil in the quarter final. John Mahan telling me a few weeks ago he practically lives in the gym, the Crossmolina corner back. And to be fair, Pierce, you'd know it to look at him. He's a big unit.
Yeah, big tough man. But again, Mike, it's interesting, you know, my Davits have kept Anthony Jordan and Brian Reap in the full forward line, and two of the best forwards in the county out round the middle. I'm really surprised that they haven't put Clark and Keane McHale in beside him and brought Jordan out for a bit of rough and tumble. He's a big, strong man, but he's playing in at full forward beside Reap. You know, my Davits change here now.
Yeah, James Mulderrig has broken the glass, because we've reached that stage in the game now where something has to happen, and it's big calls in the sense that Porrick Ruan and Brian Heenahan are coming on, and it looks like the Clark brothers, Stephen and Ronan, that are being taken off, and that will tell you just how Moy Davits feel this game is going, because you'd have imagined if they were going to win this game, Pierce, that Ronan Clark would have a big say in it, but they've decided to take off Ronan and bring in Brian Heenan, who's a class act at this level as well.
Yeah, but he'll be very disappointed, because I don't know what the instruction was, but he has played the entire game out round the middle, and inside Brian Reap needs the help, and we all know how good a footballer Ronan Clark is.
Stephen Duffy in the thick of it. This is where he's at his best. The Crossmolina substitute, the veteran, and he's won a free. And as you can see, Finan Duffy is in no hurry to take it. Now this is where the experience of the likes of the Duffys, Conor Loftus and Jordan Flynn, will be so crucial. Not to mention, of course, Brian Benson won senior championship medals here in 2005 and 2006. What a good forward he was. As Stephen Duffy crosses the halfway line. We're 11 minutes into the second half, and so far Moy Davits have made very little inroads. In fact, they've made no inroads into the deficit. They were 5 behind at half time, and they're still 5 behind.
Yeah, I see Mikey Loftus getting ready to come in, the Crossmolina captain, and that'll give them a good lift as well to get your captain back on the field. He's a real leader, injured during the year, and he has worked so hard to get back. But, you know, I'm surprised at my Davits, really. They've continued to do the same thing. It didn't really work for them, you know, into the breeze. The breeze is at their backs now, and they continue to play with a 2-man full forward line, and two of the biggest guys that they have on the team when they have sharpshooters, you know, on the half forward line. It's surprising, and I just don't know why they haven't changed it.
Well, speaking of changes, Brian Benson has just sent in Mikey Loftus, as Pierce mentioned, grandson of the late Dr. Mickey Loftus. He's on now to add some pace and some poise to the Crossmolina attack. Speaking of both, here's Finan Duffy, shot half blocked, almost squirted through, almost created a goal chance. So near and yet so far. But the Crossmolina man who's been taken off, Diarmuid Welch, tried hard, worked hard, just didn't get on as much ball, I think, as he would have hoped to.
Yeah,
he's first cousin of Gabriel, of course, who was here last night blowing kisses to the crowd as the 99 team were introduced.
Yeah, what a superb block by Cathal Clark. He dived down on the boot of Finan Duffy and prevented what looked like a certain score.
Well, we're approaching the midway point in the second half. Evening already is starting to draw in. With the clock's gone back, it's starting to get a little gloomy as Cian McHale takes on another big kick, and Cian McHale hits the target again. Well, he's the one, my Davits forward, that time and again is prepared to shoot from long range and inevitably score from long range. He's now hit 6 points, 2 in a row from play, and the comeback very slowly and surely is starting to take shape.
Yeah, there's definitely time. There's 13 minutes gone, but they've got to get McHale in closer to the goal. Like, you know, he's playing really well, 2 from play, 4 from freeze. But those efforts are from a long way out, and there's a very strong breeze there. If they got him in beside Reap, Reap was doing all the donkey work and slipped it out to McHale. my Davits have a chance.
Quick thinking from Cian McHale to release Anthony Jordan. What about that for a flick? Back into the hands of a teammate. Ball delivered across towards Brian Reap. Up front on his own. Pushed in the back by Gordetsky, who's on a yellow. Free into Moy Davits. Brian Reap now is starting to get the upper hand in that battle.
Yeah, an unusual move to take off Roland Clark, Mike, as well. I presume Brian Heenan, he was listed to start at full forward, and thankfully they've put him into the full forward line. Anthony Jordan gone out round the middle again. So they have a chance, and that breeze, as I said at half time, there was 5 points between them. There's certainly 5 points in this.
Cian McHale makes it a 3-point game, and right now all that separates the teams is that goal, that Niall Coggins goal after 15 seconds. And I wonder at this stage, are Crossmolina starting to get flashbacks, Pierce, to that group game when they blew that big lead, blew the game, and Moy Davits, I'm sure, have memories, much fonder memories of that match as well.
Yeah, but Brian Reap has been brilliant all afternoon in there, and the one thing we know about Moy Davits is they can get goals. They probably will need to get a goal to win this one.
Conor Reid to Brian Heenahan. Look at him go. Heenahan's shot dropped short, gathered by JP Mulhern. Well, JP does not get flustered. The calmest man in Castlebar, the Crossmolina goalkeeper, starts a move that sees Jordan Flynn across the halfway line, and now there's a real fast break on here for Crossmolina. Diarmuid Coggins is pulled back, held back, and Crossmolina furious that no advantage was played. Shane Corcoran has given them the free, but they wanted so much more.
Yeah, the sideline for Crossmolina are absolutely furious. Brian Binson is down there remonstrating with the fourth official. He'd be very lucky if he doesn't get a card. He's shaking his finger at him. My goodness.
I think the best way to describe it from where I am is he just gave both barrels to the fourth official there. Yeah,
he certainly did. I'm surprised that the fourth official doesn't call over Shane Corcoran. In fairness to Shane Corcoran, he'd blown the whistle. He'd given the 5-second advantage, but it kind of came after he blew the whistle.
Well, Crossmolina will be happy enough if Fionnán Duffy slots this, and he does. I think I heard John Mahon's crutches flying across the press room there when that advantage was called back, but he and the rest of the Crossmolina contingent will be sitting a little more comfortably now as the Crossmolina Ultras down behind Chris McGlynn's goal release a flare. They have got drenched wet up on that terrace for the last hour or so well entitled to let off a bit of steam, a bit of smoke. With 14 minutes to go, Crossmolina are 4 up in the county intermediate final, and their first Sweeney Cup win since 1980 is still a reality.
Yeah, it's a 70-minute game. My Davits certainly aren't out of this, but they will need a goal, I think, if they're going to win it. But as you mentioned the smoke, I'll tell you, there's plenty of sparks here. This game by no means is over.
Looking down towards the sidelines, everyone is hard at work now. The backroom teams, the medical teams, everyone earning their corn as Brian Heenahan gives it to Reap to Pádraig Ruan. Wanted to play the return pass, but it wasn't on. Instead, Moy Davits recycle the ball. They're looking to get Cian McHale into position. Conor Reid to Oisin McHugh. The centre back draws in 3-4 Crossmolina men. They're looking for the overload. There has to be a spare man or two somewhere. Here's Fiacre Cruz. Thought about the shot, instead plays it into the corner. It's a ball that Brian Heenahan did not want to see coming. It skids on the surface, it flies wide, but you could see 2-3 Moy Davits men there on a number of occasions, Pierce, looking around, trying to find Cian McHale.
Yeah, they have to get the ball to him now. He's just a little bit far out. Against Davits in the semi-final, he constantly came on the loop, but he's just too far from goal when he gets it, or they just can't get to it, and they're tagging him now as well. You can see Conor Loftus has gone over on him. They know that he's the danger man. Well,
Cian McHale kicked 3 points in a row to bring Moy Davits back into this game, so that Fionnán Duffy score a minute ago was a big one. Here's Cian McHale again. He's gone for it on the run, flies just wide. Well, I think most of us were ready to chalk that down because the kind of form he's in, you just expect Cian McHale to score, but you wonder where the help is. Who else will help to kick the scores to get Moy Davits back into this game?
Yeah, he's got 5 from frees, 2 from play, but Crossmolina very, very clever. They have moved out Conor Loftus on. But in fairness to my Davits, they're getting into the game. They're winning a lot of dirty ball now. The gander is up, and they're right at the pitch of the game. But they need to get scores. You know, that Fionn Duffy free there was crucial for Crossmolina, because my Davits, you know, they had all the momentum at that stage.
Free to Crossmolina, but again they look a bit frustrated that there was no advantage. That was Jordan Flynn, a man who was made for these conditions, because the going is getting tough now as Mahady tries to spin Oisin McHugh, looking to get in around the back. Excellent defending by Oisin McHugh. Well, he chased him down and he hunted him down, and he eventually ran him out of road and over the line.
Well, if you wanted an example of the near hand tackle, or how to, you know, put a forward out over the inline, Oisin McHugh did absolutely brilliant there. Another change now for my Davits. Ryan Kinney, he was listed to start, now getting his opportunity.
So in comes Ryan Kenny. Kevin Kennelly from the Hollymount Carramore Club is the linesman on this near side. He's taking care of the paperwork. And Martin Kennedy from the Neil on duty on the far side, where things are a little quieter, a little bit more subdued. But here on the stand side, well, you can't take your eye off the field or on the field, as Conor Reid tries to come down the middle, but he left the solo a little loose. It hung out there.
Could have been a free.
Yeah, I think Boy Davits, or Crossmolina rather, are again looking towards Shane Corcoran, but he's not interested. Packy Leddy, Jordan Flynn, and now Conor Loftus. The midfield diamond, all on the ball. Loftus moves up through the gears. Flynn taken down off the ball. Loftus taken down on the ball. Crossmolina free. Boy Davits feeling the heat and feeling the pressure when Loftus took the straight route to goal.
Yeah, if you want to win a county final, you need your big men to stand up, and what a run by Conor Loftus. Probably on the soft side, because he was running out of road. But, you know, Jordan Flynn was involved in that move as well. And again, you know, these are crucial scores, because in fairness to my Davits, they're doing really, really well. But, you know, Crossmolina are just pinning them back with these, you know, I suppose, clumsy frees, and we all know how good Fionn Duffy is.
Well, this is the way Fionn Duffy likes it. On the ball, expected to score. His team need it, and Fionn Duffy, nerveless as ever. 5 points for the Crossmolina centre forward, who has done so much over the years to keep them in contention for leagues and championships on good days and bad, as Chris McGlynn pops a lovely kick out. Picked out Sean Kelly there. Somebody switched off in the Crossmolina attack. They didn't pick him up, and my Davits are out very easily, but they are 5 points down with 8.5 minutes to go. Conor Reid spills it. Packy Leddy, the 33-year-old Cavan man, there to profit. Down the line towards Loftus. Lovely touch from Conor Loftus, who was just under pressure and off balance and eventually toppled over, and the ball runs free and loose. Now, what can Moy Davits do from here? That's another big hit by Jordan Flynn. Clever foul to give away from a Crossmolina point of view.
Yeah, you can even hear the frustration in the My Davits supporters, because they're putting the ball through the hands, you know, when they should be letting it go in fast. Crossmolina now have two, you know, defenders back there, but, you know, they're in trouble, my Davits, so they've got to get the ball fast into Reap. And it was interesting there, Mike. Conor Loftus now has stormed into the game, and for the second time he has taken Cian McHale 30 yards in the wrong direction. We need Cian McHale going in the other direction and in the forward line for my Davits.
Brian Benson has sent in Cathal Carolan, man who wore the green and red of Mayo back in the 2012 and 2013 All-Ireland final defeats to Donegal and Dublin. He's on at 35 years of age to try and win his first intermediate championship. And Lorcan Loftus, player who's been taken out. 7 minutes of normal time to go. Moy Davits still looking for something, anything to get them going. Of course it's their main man, Cian McHale. Well, he has been quite literally a one-man band at times up front for Moy Davits. He's now brought his personal tally up to 8 points, and 3 of them have been spectacular scores from play. But as we've been asking all afternoon long, Pierce, Where's the help when he needs it?
Yeah, and he's so far out from goal. 8 for McHale, 4 for Mahidi. You can see the influence of the breeze now. And by no means is this game over, but I really feel they need to get Keane McHale closer to the goal, because they're not going to win it if they don't get a goal.
That's now 2:27 in the championship, but it will all count for nothing if my Davits don't win this game right now. I would imagine they take your hand off for a draw, because despite their best efforts, they just can't get this forward line firing. And remember, they've taken off Ronan Clark. They have sent on in Brian Heenan, all right, but it just hasn't been their day. McGlynn is a long way from goal here. He backed himself, and it's paid off handsomely. Well, what a moment to leave his line. Now, I think he was trying to get a rolling maul going there as he tried to take the free. Decided to go through the Crossmolina man instead of around him, and Shane Corcoran is going to hop the ball. And for an experienced goalkeeper, that was a big rush of blood to the head.
Yeah, he was like a bulldozer coming out there, put the head down and went straight forward, but there was a Crossmolina player in front of him. I suppose he felt that he was blocking his way, but Shane Corcoran is 100% correct to throw up this ball, because he can't do that.
Yellow card for Chris McGlynn, and the Moydavits free has now been turned into a hot ball. So it's a lose-lose for Moydavits as Brian Benson decides it's time to send in the Fox, Diarmuid Fox, and off comes Matt Gordetsky, who was on a yellow, had committed a few fouls and was probably walking a tightrope. So he's off. On comes Diarmuid Fox, hot ball. Mahady pulls a boot on it. Ball ricochets into the arms of Oisin McHugh. No way out. Crossmolina pressing high and hard, trying to pin Moydavits back in. Just under 5 minutes to go. Sean Kelly over the top. Now they're out. Moydavits trying to flood down the field. Cathal Clark to Anthony Jordan, looking for his latest big day, and he's hit late. Now, if that's a deliberate body collide, there's a black card coming for a Crossmolina man. At the very least, it's a free. Shane Corcoran is looking for, is it Kevin Mulhern? Yes, it is, the Crossmolina number 3. Now, how did Shane Corcoran see that tackle? It was most certainly a foul.
Yeah, but Porrick Ruan was gone through.
Well, he's already walking. Black card for Kevin Mulhern. So he's going to the bin, and Crossmolina will finish this match with 14 players.
Yeah, it's definitely a black card, because he, stopped the runner, took him to ground. It was interesting that Shane Corcoran could have let the play develop. I presume he felt that there might have been a head injury there, so that's why he blew the whistle. So
Moydavits will have an extra man for the remaining minutes, and they're sending in John Gilmore and taking off Jamie Clark as James Mulderrick tries all he knows now to get Moydavits going, even at this late stage, because time is running out. And it's John Gilmore who's coming on to try and make something happen as Cian McHale delivers this in towards the edge of the square. It's a Gary Owen, and it's missed by everybody in a Crossmolina and Moydavits jersey, and Crossmolina delighted to see that ball fly wide.
Yeah, it's their 7th wide. McHale was a long way out. He was 55 metres out, but it's surprising that Brian Reap didn't get a punch or a hand on it. It just hopped and out over the end line.
JP Mulhern kicking towards that far side, kicking to the contest. Darius Siren unable to get his hands on it. Anthony Jordan gets it forward to Colin McHale. Look at the Crossmolina pressure though on the ball carrier, and the pressure tells, and Moydavits crack, and Conor Loftus again is the man who'll carry it down the field. In fact, it's Niall Coggins who carried, and Niall Coggins who was taken down, and Niall Coggins is hurt after that very heavy challenge by Jack Dunleavy.
Yeah, I'd say, Mike, it's more than likely a yellow. It was a closed fist tackle. I'd be surprised if he got a red for that. But again, Diarmuid and Niall Coggins have been superb. Yeah, he's given him a straight red card.
So a red card for Moydavits, for Jack Dunleavy, for that challenge on the Crossmolina goal scorer Niall Coggins. And this really has gone from bad to worse for Moy Davits. And it's another card, another sending off, and it's Conor Reid. So 2 Moy Davits men dismissed in a matter of moments. Well, the sky has really fallen down now and fallen in on Moy Davits. Conor Reid and Jack Dunleavy both sent off by Shane Corcoran. I'm not 100% sure what exactly Conor Reid did there in the aftermath of the foul on the Crossmolina man. But Moy Davits look like they're going to finish this game, Pierce, with 13 men. They're 4 down. It's almost gone entirely.
Yeah, like there's still probably 4 or 5 minutes left. There's 29 minutes played, but there's going to be, a fair bit of additional time. Just some indiscipline there. They're very frustrated, the Moy Davits players, because in fairness to Crossmolina, they've really, really slowed down the game. Fionn Duffy, when he gets it into the tackle, he's not going to spill the ball, and few rash challenges, and in fairness, Diarmuid Coggins was coming through. It was a closed fist challenge. If it was on the ball or on the man, I suppose Shane said it was on the man, so that's why he gave him a straight red. And Conor Reid as well, really, really frustrated, because with the breeze, they didn't take advantage of it. Chance now for Fionn Duffy.
Well, just to clarify, as Duffy lines up this free, Jack Dunleavy is gone off on a black card and a red for Conor Reid, but I suppose the end result's in one way the same, in that Moy Davits are down to 13 men at the moment, but it would seem that Jack Dunleavy's shown a black for the foul on Coggins. Conor Reid a red, as far as we can tell, for the follow-up challenge. But either way, right now, Moy Davits with 13 men, 4 minutes of added time to come in the Egan Jewellers County Intermediate Final. Yeah, can the 15 men or the 14 men even of Crossmolina hold out?
Yeah, but Crossmolina have everybody set, because they're very, very slow in getting the ball in.
Ball played in, Brian Heenan! Ball's in the back of the net. Oh, disaster strikes for Crossmolina, and it's not over yet. It was the fox in the box, Brian Heenan, who came from nowhere, a la James Mulderrick in 2017, to pounce for a goal, to bring Moy Davits back from the brink. They're a point down, 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, long ball in. Brian Reap got a little flick on it. It hit the post. When he came back out, Brian Heenan dived at it and punched it into the net.
And here's Heenan again. So it's the 13 men of Moy Davits who are chasing down the 14 men of Crossmolina. We're a minute into added time. We were told we'd have at least 4. Is history about to repeat itself for Crossmolina? Remember that group game we mentioned earlier when they looked to have the game won against Moy Davits? But James Mulderrick's team came back from the dead and came back to get the result. Can they do it again? Remember, if it finishes in a draw, we will have a replay. Moy Davits hunting an equaliser, looking to get their shooters into position. As they recycle and reset, they may only get one more chance. Cian McHale gives it off to Neil Murphy. Murphy is looking for somebody to take over here. McHale again. He's the man being watched like a hawk by Conor Loftus. They know he's the go-to man for Moy Davits today. Brian Reap is also looking to get free. This is Pádraig Ruan or Sean Kelly brought down, free in, and Moy Davits will get their chance to level the county final.
Oh, it's unbelievable to watch Cian McHale and Conor Loftus. What a tussle. Conor Loftus was holding him out here in the middle of the field because he knows that if McHale comes on the loop, he is the man they want to get it to.
So Cian McHale stands over the free. That would level this county final for the very first time. Crossmolina and Moy Davits are all square for the first time all day in the 3rd minute of added time. 90 seconds left now for one of them to go and win it.
Yeah, unbelievable. 9 points from Cian McHale. What a performance. What a performance, yeah. Like if you're... and to be up against Conor Loftus as well, it's unbelievable watching the two of them. The two county men, Cian McHale certainly is going to be on Kevin McStay's radar.
Now Crossmolina come again. It's Conor Loftus. What a game he's had. Free out for overcarrying. Free out for Moy Davits when it just looked there like it was all going to open up for Conor Loftus and Crossmolina. Can Moy Davits go and win it? That's a foul. It's a nudge, a shoulder in the back by Jordan Flynn on Cian McHale. Well, time is almost up. 35 seconds, I make it. And then whatever Shane Corcoran adds on, there's a card coming for Jordan Flynn. It's a yellow for the Crossmolina number 9. Will either of them have a chance to win it?
I don't think so. I think that Shane Corcoran has looked at the Urador. He'll probably let this attack develop. He's looked at it again. But what a fantastic game of all-out attack in football. And credit where credit is due to Moy Davits. I said it in the semi-final that they had a bit of steel in their veins, and fair play to them, they stayed in the game.
Now, Moy Davits have turned the ball over and Crossmolina have possession. It all comes down to this. We're in the 5th minute of added time. It's all at the discretion of Shane Corcoran. They drew in the championship last year. There's never much between them. That's Stephen Duffy on his way through, spilled by Carolyn, and there goes the full-time whistle. It is a draw in the county intermediate football final. They're going to have to meet to do it all over again. Crossmolina 112, Moy Davits 112. Moy Davits looked dead and buried until Brian Heenahan's goal brought them back from the brink. They snatch a draw from the jaws of defeat. What a match, what a contest. Crossmolina will be absolutely heartbroken. Moy Davits will bounce out of the stadium tonight, Pierce, knowing they've got a second chance.
Yeah, they were dead and buried, and you have to give Moy Davits unbelievable credit. You know, I saw them in the semi-final, and for the first time in years I realised that there's a bit of battle, there's a bit of fight, and there's a bit of courage in this Moy Davits team. It was over and out. They were leading by 4 coming down the home straight. That ball, that long ball that went into Brian Reap, a little flick came back off the post, and the substitute Brian Heenan, well, he put his life on the line to punch it into the net. And, you know, Cian McHale after that, 9 points, Mike. What a performance. In the first half, James Mahidi shot out the lights with 4 from play. But in fairness to Moy Davits, they put the shackles on him in the second half and he didn't score. And into the game came Cian McHale. A superb performance by himself and by Brian Reap. And it was interesting, you know, I was questioning why they didn't keep the 2 sharpshooters inside beside Brian Reap, because he was ploughing a lone furrow for so long in there, and he deserves a lot of credit for his performance. He stood up when he was counted, and that, you know, it's a big part of the reason that they're still in this competition. They're still alive, Mike, because Brian Reap worked his socks off. As you know, a man that was injured for long periods this year and indeed last year, worked so hard to get back into it. But overall, a superb, such an enjoyable game. Brilliant to see, and a great into the club season. It's not ended yet. We're going to have to do it all again.
Yeah, what a festival, a feast of football we got this weekend in the county championships. The junior final ending in a draw between Bonnyconlon and Kilcommon, and today's intermediate final ending in a draw as well. Moy Davits, what a finish they produced, outscoring Crossmolina 1-5 to 2 points in the last half an hour. It was the Cian McHale show, really, and until the arrival of Brian Heenahan off the bench to score the goal that brought them back from the brink. Well, Moy Davits looked to be in dire straits, and the more things change, Pierce, the more they stay the same. Just like 2017, when Kilchuma had one hand on the cup and Moy Davits looked beaten. That time it was James Mulderrick, who's now the manager. This time it was Brian Heenahan. The only difference was they didn't go on to win it, but they will be thanking their lucky stars they got the draw.
They left it so late, but they deserve it because they kept on fighting to the very end. You know, there were so many good performances on both sides. In the first half, Crossmolina, you know, Jordan Flynn was brilliant, Conor Loftus was solid throughout as well, Mahidi was inside. But I said to you at half time, Mike, that this breeze was 5 or 6 point breeze, and in fairness to Moy Davits, you know, they didn't panic. You know, even when they got the 2 players sent off, they still had the courage and ability and composure to go up and get those 2 late scores, the goal and the point. But, you know, at the end of the day, if they didn't have Cian McHale they wouldn't have won, or they wouldn't have drawn this match. He was absolutely superb when they needed him. 9 points, 3 of them coming from play. And, we were looking from a Crossmolina point of view. Conor Loftus was brilliant. Mahidi was brilliant in the first half. The 2 Cogginses were mighty in the first half. But they went out of it in the second half. So in fairness, great credit to my Davits for sticking in it. They will be delighted. It was over, out. The barn door was closed. The tent folded up, and somehow they're still in the game.
Yeah, and look, we will get clarification as quick as we can on those cards, because there was a lot happening. Jack Dunleavy and Conor Reid both shown cards by Shane Corcoran. Both players left the field. We just have to get clarity around the colours. There seemed to be a black for Dunleavy. We're not 100% sure. There was a lot happening in those closing stages, but it did leave my Davits with 13 men on the field. And at that stage, it did look like they were going to leave here empty-handed. But from a Crossmolina point of view, Pierce, when you look at that stat that they had the extra man and they had the considerable lead they'd built up, 6 points at one stage, you start to wonder, where did it all go wrong?
Yeah, well, it's interesting in us talking and the country talking about, the new rules that are coming in. Crossmolina made a change at half-time. They brought on Stephen Duffy and they set out their stall that we're going to defend our lead. He became the +1. He sat in front of Reap. And it's probably an example of, a team that is willing to go out and attack. And that's what my Davits did. You love to see teams. The same thing happened with Kilcummin in the junior game. They were sailing through, and the next thing they decided, we're going to protect our lead. We're going to mind the house, park the bus, whatever you want to call it. And it didn't work for Kilcummin yesterday. It certainly didn't work for Crossmolina today. But in fairness to Crossmolina, they kept on plugging away. Because the rain went away as well, Mike, it really, really helped my Davits, because, they have good forwards. We know that. Ronan Clark probably won't be as poor again, and more than likely they'll play him in the full forward line. But, what a super game of football overall. So enjoyable, good attacking football, excellent players on both sides, and so evenly matched. Wouldn't it be lovely now to bring both these teams and the junior teams back to Hastings Insurance McHale Park, possibly next Saturday or next Sunday, for a double header, and you'd get a great crowd in for it.
Yeah, we're just waiting on confirmation of the fixture. I'm sure the CCC will be meeting shortly to arrange those fixtures. Before we wrap up and take our leave, Pierce, I think I described it yesterday as the MVP when I was talking to Tony Duffy. Who would you pick, to be fair to both sides? Give me your MVP from Crossmolina and my Davits, because I think it was one of those games where it would be unfair to pick out one player, almost, considering how much both teams put into it and the fact they'll have to meet again. Yeah,
there were really, really good performances on both teams. Kevin Mulhern, when he went back there as the sweeper, played really, really well for Crossmolina. As I said, the Cogginses were superb in the opening half. Jermud in particular, and Niall with that wonder goal after 15 seconds. Fionn Duffy, didn't have his best game. He only got 1 point from play, but he kicked his frees really, really well. And James Mahidi was brilliant in the first half. But in fairness to my Davits, to put the shackles on him certainly in the second half. So I'd say best overall for Crossmolina probably was Conor Loftus, but his performance and the his marking of Keane McHale was just brilliant to see. They went at it hammer and tongs. For my Davits, overall, I knew it wasn't over at half time. They have really, really good players. Brian Reap, I thought he rolled back the years for a player that has been injured. He's 26, 27 now. But he just had, the heart was on his sleeve. He worked so hard, and he had to beat 2 defenders most time, but he kept my Davits in it when they were really, really struggling. Conor Reid and Colin McHale worked hard around the middle, but at the end of the day, when you want to pick a man of the match, a man that makes the difference, that certainly was Keane McHale. He put the ball in for the goal, kicked 9 points, 3 from play. but he was just superb all afternoon, and a deserving winner of man of the match here in the intermediate final.
Well, that's it from us on Mayo GATV. Our thanks again to Mayo Credit Unions for their sponsorship of our coverage. Thanks as well to our cameraman Brian Murphy, to Stephen and all the Stream Sport team back at base, and to everyone involved in making this broadcast possible. What an Egan Jewellers County Intermediate Final we had served up. Nobody prepared to take a backward step in the end. Nobody prepared to blink, and they will have to do it all over again next weekend. It has finished here in the County Intermediate Football Final. Moy Davits 112, Crossmolina 112. From all of us on Mayo GATV, enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekend. The favourites tag and win again as we watch Niall Coggins. Oh, what a start! What a goal!
Middle as a playmaker, an excellent minor.
So here's a chance for Moy Davits just to get the scoreboard ticking. 19, wearing a jersey that his dad wore for years and years with Moy Davits, and this
hasn't been very much in the play.
Here's Mahady, backs himself. It's going to be close. He's got it. Great score.
Close the gap.
So it's Cian McHale again, student down in UL. Second free, second score. All die-hard Moy Davits supporters and watching intently as Fionnán Duffy lines this up. Well, in the condition, shoot first, ask questions later, Merchant. Ball breaks kindly for Jeremy Coggins. Lovely kick, lovely. Ben won an All-Ireland hurling medal with Wexford in '96. The breeding is good. This is Kevin Mulhern.
We were short on referees, and Shane has done a good job so far.
So, a warning shot for Crossmolina to...
the defenders have got the ball out of his hands.
Here's Jordan Flynn using his power, using his pace. Oh, what a score! Lovely little necklace of hand passes to get within shooting range, and Fionnán Duffy says, give it to me, I'll take it from here. And here they come again. Mahady, lovely little 1-2, trying to bring it in on the wind. James Mahady in the Copper Beach straight, but still a long way to go. Coggins to Mahady, he's red hot, he goes again. Moy Davits field, Ronan Clark, the best man to have the ball in his hands, pops it into Reap, gets away from his man, and Brian Reap.
Come over. If they can get the players inside in the second half, they'll cause trouble.
Well, we all know at this stage about the sort of fire to win the ball, not pick it off the ground and hold off the defender. He made the sign that he wanted to call the mark. Shane Corcoran. Years later, here's another of those All-Ireland Under-21 winners. It's Fionnán Duffy, cuts through, fires it up and over the bar. Goal. Up at the other end, it's Mahady, who is going to shoot and is going to score. Worked out well. Here's Cian McHale looking to pull one back for Moy Davits. He has struck it beautifully. The clock's gone back. It's starting to get a little gloomy as Cian McHale takes on another big kick.
5 points between them. There's certainly 5 points in this.
Cian McHale makes it a 3-point game, and right
now, advantage, but it kind of came after he blew the whistle.
Well, Crossmolina will be happy enough if Fionnán Duffy slots this, and he does. Expected to score. His team need it. And Fionnán Duffy, nerveless as ever. Time to go. Moy Davits still looking for something, anything to get them going. Of course, it's their main man.
Very, very slow in getting the ball in.
Ball played in. Brian Heaton! Ball to the back of the net. Cian McHale stands over the free that would level this county final for the very first time. Crossmolina and